Bizarre Brain Comics. Well, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and some of the stories and the art. Well, this time I want to take a look at a fistful of comic books that I found scrolled away that I haven't read yet. I've had some of them for quite some time. Yeah, ones that I haven't read. I may have read little bits of it or something, and we're starting it off here with this is J. Michael Straczynski. He was the creator of Babylon 5. This is Supreme Power from Max Comics, which was a Marvel imprint. And Supreme Power, a collection, graphic album, so it's a graphic novel, featuring, I think it's the first 5 issues or so of the Supreme Power title, which was they were rebooting their Squadron Supreme super team, and bring it up to date. And notice it says parental advisory, explicit content. Wow, I think it's just some language and maybe a little bit of nudity, or some graphic. So if I remember when the single issues were started to be produced, published back then, and I just didn't get a chance for the beginning, and I didn't want to get on them. This is, I can see here, it got adhesive from the price sticker on there. So this is contact. This is completely reboot. Starts with the origin of which is basically like Superman. The origin of Hyperion. Oh, couldn't think of his name. Hyperion. It was basically kind of like the Superman origin and stuff like that, because he was the equivalent of. Now he grows up, and it's just basically like Superman, but then gets on to the other characters, and there he is in costume when he's grown up. There's one version of a costume, and also has what's his name? There he is, Owlman, I think. Yeah. And of course, Squadron Supreme was also Squadron Sinister, the same characters from a different universe. So, and some really nice artwork by it's J. Michael Straczynski was the writer. Gary Frank was the penciler, and John Sybil, I guess that's how you pronounce it. It's got the origins of all those Justice League-like characters that they had. And I've never read it. Then I have here some sword and sorcery stuff. Oh, cool. Claw the Unconquered. This is also graphic album, reprinting the entire miniseries. And I haven't read this. I had picked up a couple of issues of that miniseries and read that. And prior to this miniseries, there was another miniseries, but it was a crossover with Dynamite. It was Claw and Red Sonja, and I've gotten read that, and got a little bit of this. This has an unusual a surprising conclusion. I know that. It was, see, that one was 2004. This one's 2006. And so Chuck Dixon was the writer. Chuck Dixon has a YouTube channel, so check him out there. With Andy Smith as the artist. It's in Wildstorm, as I said. It's an imprint of DC, which I think is now, the imprint is now defunct. So I can see some nice artwork, even if it is kind of over-exaggerated that I don't really care for, but it's a really nice work. And of course, Claw, I did one episode featuring one of the issues from this storyline, and I've done 2 or 3 episodes, I think 2 episodes of the original Claw series from DC in the 1970s. and I like that. And here we have, this is from 2013, Planet of the Apes, Volume 2. This is Planet of the Apes Cataclysm, Volume 2. And so I've never seen it. This is from Boom Graphics. And it's the Alex Ross cover. I just can't make it out very well. But it's this is the classic Planet of the Apes storyline. And this is, so unfortunately it starts right in the middle. Some really nice artwork here. I don't know if you can make it out. Look at that. That's good. Some really nice artwork. Who's behind this? Find the creators. Yes, Karina Becco and Gabriel Hardman wrote it, with art by Damian Cuchero and Mariano Taibo. I think, is that how you pronounce it? And of course, this is, as I said, the classic Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes. Version of Planet of the Apes. And I'm a big Apes fan, both the classic and the newer ones, and in the comics and the novels and the animated series and all of that. And the TV series. And I was surprised, I just haven't read it. And I think one of the reasons I haven't read it is because it starts in the middle of the story, which is unfortunate. Then we have Guns of the Black Bat, issues 1, 2, and 3 from Moonstone. This was from, that was 2013. This is from 2016. All 3 of these are written by Ron Fortier, and a couple of them was also written with Eric Esquivel, and this first one, and of course, the Black Bat is a pulp hero, and is, from what I understand, a public domain hero. I've seen a couple other comics, so written by Ron Fortier, featuring the Black Bat, but and they also use here in these stories a bunch of other public domain pulp and golden age comic characters as heroes and or villains. Okay. This is Ron Fortier and Eric Esquivel wrote it. Oh, that's a beautiful cover painting there on the inside, and with art by Paul Delacroix. And all 3 issues are signed by Ron Fortier, because he is a local boy here, almost local. He lives about an hour and a half north of Denver here, and so when there's conventions and stuff, he usually has a table, and sells stuff, and that's where I got these. And I was surprised that I hadn't read them yet, because I'm a big pulp fan. They take place in the pulp era. It's nice artwork. I think the other issues are, the artwork is a little bit nicer, but there's not saying anything bad about this. I said features some of the others. Have Airboy here, and others that get along here with. Like in here. This one, in issue 2, is Ron Fortier. Come on. I open up. Guns of the Black Bat. Final Phase. These 2 issues 2 and 3 are a continued storyline. So Ron Fortier and Aaron Shaps wrote it, and Sylvester Zilagi, is that how you pronounce his name? Did the artwork, and some really, really nice artwork. It's some fine stuff. And I'm going to have to read it. Here we have Domino Lady and the Phantom Detective, as well as the Black Bat. And of course the Black Bat, along with the Shadow and various various other pulp heroes were partial inspiration for, yes, the Batman. Here's issue 3, Ron Fortier, Sylvester Zilligy. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. And it's got hard cardstock cover. Some nice, really nice stuff. It has wild animals, and this part of it takes place in the Congo. So it has, what's the character's name? A Tarzan-like character, and I've read some of his Kygor. That's it, Kygor. I couldn't think of his name, and I've read some of the original pulp stories of Kygor, and I really like this stuff. Ooh. Airplane battles. It even has Nighthawk, which is another pulp character, and Ron Fortier has written has at least one Nighthawk novel, which we have here. And my wife has the novel. I have the audio book version of it. And it's a really from and he was a World War I pilot character. And here we have, going back to 1990. The original Dick Tracy by Chester Gould from Gladstone Publishing, and I never got too many of these. A couple of them. I'm a big Dick Tracy fan. I have a lot of volumes reprinting Dick Tracy adventures from various time periods and different various creators. I just like Dick Tracy, especially like the more classic Chester Gould stuff. And this is reprinting this. I unfortunately don't have issue 1. This is issue 2, issue 3, and issue 4 from 90 and 91. And so it has a complete adventure in an issue. These were long stories, for in the comic strips. There's Dick Tracy and the evil influence about influence. And I've done various episodes on a few episodes on Dick Tracy. I like Dick Tracy, and I liked the movie, the 1990 1990 movie with Madonna in it. I really liked that. Even mostly because they just threw in all these characters from the strip who had actually appeared over several years, but. Threw them all together, and that was great. Some great makeup, and of course the grotesque villains were partial inspiration for Batman villains. Although they started with the grotesque villains about the same time, so they probably may have fed on one another. Here's issue 3. Dick Tracy exterminates the extortioner. And if you've seen the first one that I did, I think it was my second issue, my second episode, Dick Tracy, with Flat Top, and how actually gruesome and graphic some of that stuff got in those comic strips back in the 30s. And then we finished that up with issue number 3, and this is confronts Itchy. And they had several stories of some of the villains, because most of the villains wound up dying at the end. So they come up with creative ways of either bringing them back or having family members or wives or children of those villains pop up. But I get a big kick out of Dick Tracy. So I like that cover. So that's all I had to share with you this time around. Oh, that's a great cover right there. And that's what I want to share with you this time, with just a bunch of comics that I've got that I have not read. And that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you this time. I want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below. When I'm able to, I want to get in and read some of these. So, again, thanks for joining me. Leave all your comments. And remember, comics are art.